Ready, set, draw!
Welcome back to Ready, Set, Live. This is Tyler, and we've got a great slate of topics to talk about today. But before we get into it, please remember to like and share the content, as well as subscribe to the channel. Every bit of support helps grow the channel and bring new content to listeners like you. This episode is also sponsored by Texarkana Podcast Studio. Want to start your very own podcast or voice web series? Well, Texarkana Podcast Studio is the place for you. Whether it's true crime, sports, murder mystery, or a fun card game you want to talk about with your friends, Texarkana Podcast Studio is here for all of your recording needs. Check out the link in the description below to schedule your first session today. Texarkana Podcast Studio, where your voice is heard. Well, guys, welcome back in.
How's it going, everybody?
Yo.
I mean, dude, this last week has been crazy.
So we're going to start off.
I don't know if Ravensburger was on crack or something the last week, but they're like,
No, keep it coming.
let's put
Keep it
everything
coming.
out right
Keep
now.
it coming. We're going to start off by saying that it is only three of us here today.
Yeah,
we
we're
are
missing
missing
a
Jacob.
compatriot.
He's on a little vacation with his family, so we hope he's having a good time. He wanted to be here, just timing issues and everything, and we know he's having a good time, and he'll be back next week. So,
But then we're gonna lose you.
yes, I won't be here next week, but that's okay. Hopefully, y'all get 20 cards to talk about, and you don't need me.
We're doing a 1-for-1. It's fine.
Yes. So today's slated mostly for card talk. We're all really excited about all the reveals. I mean, I know especially a few of them we've got really high hopes for.
Oh man, it's just we've got high hopes.
And I know we've mentioned this before, but Ravensburger, if you ever need some people to reveal a card to the public, we got you.
Oh, for sure.
We got you.
Well,
You can send us a digital image. You can send us a physical card. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. We are A-okay with it.
preferably the second one. Let's go with the second one.
Yeah, but I'll take a digital image and I will put it on Twitter. I'll put it on YouTube. We'll post it everywhere you want it posted.
Everywhere.
So I guess y'all want to dive right into it? Or is there any?
Yeah, this is the beginning of Lorcana news.
All right. So we have the very first card. We're starting with Simba, Future King.
Ooh.
I'm going to go ahead and read that one. So it is a 1 inkable cost, and it is a 1/2, and its ability is Guess What? Simba's Guess What? So when you play this character, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. And it also quests for 1 lore. So since I started off with it, let's get your thoughts on it, Tyler.
Honestly, I think as a 1-drop, I think this card is phenomenal.
I agree.
I think it worked. This is kind of one of those cards where being a 1-drop, it slots in really well with like Stitch Turbo because so you have the inner in the play. So automatically you get Stitch's ability and you exert it.
Mm-hmm.
And then its ability or Simba's ability will trigger at the same time as it enters play. So it will get a draw. You'll draw 2 cards and discard 1. So that combination of it's a better than like 1-for-1. You are rapidly going through your deck at an amazing pace with Amber Steel for this particular card.
100%. I just like the flexibility of early game.
Oh yeah,
More seeing more cards in late game,
especially
like
if your mulligan was garbage.
Yep. Late game having that option, just like of course you don't really want to top deck it because the card you draw you got to discard, but you know you can save it and go from there. So
I think the mid game is probably it's really good early game, but that mid game draw or mid game connection between it and Stitch Rockstar, I think, is probably where it's best.
This one's
suited.
going to get slotted into a lot of decks.
Oh, Amber Steel is going to love this card. Amethyst Steel is going to love this card.
I've even got it going into my Emerald still.
Hey,
Pick out them goons. Toss this in for now.
Right.
Oh,
I really like the card art too. It's just
Yes.
dope. Another one by Nicholas Cole. Nicholas Cole.
Nicholas Cole?
Yeah,
Nicholas Cole,
Nicholas
man.
Cole has been on fire with the arts. Like it is perfect.
Nicholas Cole, if you ever want to be on the show, just DM us. Send us a shout out. We would love to have you.
Yeah, we can talk for people who are not
Oh,
here,
for
so
sure, yeah.
we have the capabilities.
We have the technology.
So we're going to go ahead and let Anthony read the next card.
All right, so the next card is Maui, Demigod. He's an inkable 8 cost, 8/8 goodness.
That's
Beefy
a
boy.
body.
And he's 3 lore. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and do the his little what is it called?
The flavor text?
Flavor
Flavor
text.
text. When the gods give you a boat, you take it. The boat's owner is optional.
Eh,
Nice.
it could have been a boat.
Could have been.
It could have been a boat.
So how do y'all feel about this card?
Dude, that body
He's big.
is huge.
He is. Oh my gosh, he works out.
You can never ask him if he lifts because he does. And it's even in the card art. He lifts. But man, I was, as a demigod, I was slightly disappointed at the fact that he doesn't have an ability.
Yes, I lower some stats, take some lore pips off, give him something.
If you're gonna put it at an 8 cost, make him an 8 cost 7/7, and give him just one decent.
It could be something
ability.
tiny.
Yeah, it could be
Tiny.
something like ridiculously small, but just give him something.
Yeah, I was even thinking like take him down all the way to 6/6 on stats, but give him a good ability.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just something.
Or 7/7, take away a lore pip or something that would more a decent ability.
Yeah,
It
like-
cost. I mean, it's a big beat stick at the end, but like I think in the future the games that go to 8, he's
Yeah, and it feels exactly like what it is. It's an uncommon,
yeah.
and it feels like an uncommon.
Is
It-
that uncommon?
It is. It's a.
I thought that was rare.
I think it's for it's 3, 4, 5. Yes, it is an uncommon because the legendary is 5. It's a 5 point.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's definitely an uncommon. So but it feels like an uncommon. So it's, I don't know.
it's a rare.
Is it a rare?
It is a rare. We're looking at the symbols as we speak, so we
Okay.
get it all correct.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see it.
So it is a rare, but it's not a super rare or legendary. So I mean, take it as that is. You know, a rare isn't that special in
Yeah,
a lot of
no.
other things too. So if it was a super rare or legendary, we would definitely be expecting ability on
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
So y'all don't think this is gonna see a lot of play?
Okay. So I think it'll see a lot of play just because it's got 3 lore.
Right.
It's a big body.
It's got
gonna
good stats.
It's
gonna
got
stay around. It's
great
gonna stick
stats,
for
and
a
it's
little
gonna
bit.
stick.
I get worried about new games and metas because aggro always gets very popular, and especially in 1v1 games because a lot of people want to aggro their way into the next game.
Yeah.
To the next game, whether they win real quick or they get countered real hard and then they lose. That's my kind of thoughts on it. Is like it's either going to get aggroed out or it's going to have to be a part of a deck that's very controlly to get to that point, and then he's like the finisher, because he can quest for 3.
And there's
Right.
But the
definitely
stats are only so much because if they're not swinging into you, you're only really getting to swing it and challenge one person every turn.
Yeah.
So you probably would rather quest for 3 than challenge, and
For
if you
sure.
have to.
For
so
sure.
And I almost feel like there
Kinda
should
my
be
thoughts.
a deity like actual archetype.
Yeah.
We've come into a couple of these cards now where they've got deity in the their storyborn or dreamborn or whatever, but they're a deity. I want more, but I want them to be good.
There'll be more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have some spice to show us as well. So,
So what we got next?
we're going to go ahead and let Tyler do the next card.
You know, it's funny that I was talking about deity. Let's talk about Zeus. He's a 4-cost uninkable, which is not horrible. Stats is 0. Was it strength? 0
Yes.
strength,
And
0
4
strength and 4 willpower, and he's a 2 lore. His ability is rush, which just means that he can challenge on the turn that he's played, but he's got Challenger 4.
the saving grace of the card.
That's the only saving grace because I was really hoping for something bigger out of Zeus.
Yes. I think a lot of people were disappointed in this card. Being another rare.
Unless the only way that there is a redeeming quality for this Zeus is if he's like Hades.
See, that's where I compare him. So I go, Hades is 4, it's a 3/2. So he can trade, but he gets something back into your hand. So he gives you good value.
What does he become though? Because
Yeah? You're saying
because if we're
shifts.
staying on flavor, for what Hades is at the beginning, because he is
Ooh, we need to
he's a
shift Zeus.
storyborn.
We need to
There's
shift
got to be a
Zeus.
shift Zeus, and he's got to be the same stat line, but there's got to be something. He's probably going to be a hero. He's probably going to have the hero
Hades
capability.
turns to the king of Olympus. What
Yeah.
if Zeus goes bad?
Oh, my goodness. There's so many possibilities.
And I mean,
Well,
Hades still deals with villains
I was
when
about
he
to say,
becomes the king of Olympus, but a Zeus with an ability that makes him, kind of seem more damagey, but I like that they gave him Rush and Challenger because, the lightning bolts.
And it also,
and he's very attacky.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that he's got Rush because he is literally the god of
His
lightning.
flavor text, a little lightning solves a whole lot of problems. I like that.
Which is true. It does.
Yeah. I go with what we have now comparing with Hades. I'm just like, I prefer Hades a lot more. They kind of both get the value off the play because Hades gets the value of a card to your hand. This gets the value of trading with a card. But
you know what this
I don't
feels
see
like?
you really questing with this much unless you're like in dire straits.
Yeah, you know what this kind of gives me the feel of? Dr. Facilier.
The zero.
It gives me that same feeling where it's just like you're good, but you could have been so much better. And
I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to make it inkable either.
I honestly, I think you're exactly right.
It's Zeus, it's Challenger, it's 0-4, it's inkable.
I think the only reason why they didn't, and I can't even say that because I was about to say it's because it's a deity, but at the same time, Maui is inkable and he's a deity. So there's
some balancing going on.
There has to be, I would feel like there needs to be some continuity in the reasoning behind why certain cards are inkable and why certain cards aren't inkable.
Yeah.
Like there's something missing in that, but
I think we're all definitely happy to see more Rush though.
Oh, for sure.
Because there needs to be more ways
that's
to
a
interact
great mechanic.
Fast. And Amethyst being one of the colors that has zero interaction besides Rush and Challenger. Like they have no like action card interaction.
Right.
So they need more. And it looks like this is kind of be their thing,
Yeah, it looks like Rush is kind of their thing.
Their thing.
Which is fine. Something needs it.
Yeah. And it's nice that they have the little bit of Challenger spilled over with Steel as well. So it's nice to have them together.
So what is...
So the next card, I believe I have the next card. So the next card is going to be Sven, the official Ice Deliverer. He's just a vanilla card, but he's a 6-cost inkable 5/7 that quests for 1 lore. We'll go ahead and read his flavor text, Reindeer coming through. That's Christoph saying that. So how do y'all feel about Sven?
I think it falls under the same category as Maui. I think it's good for the body and just kind of being a big body on the field. It can challenge into some things if it needs to, but past that, I'm not seeing this card being played much.
I feel like he could have got one more lore maybe or something because
yeah, at 6, you kind of feel like it's lacking a little bit. It should have probably had one more lore and would have made it okay. Like it would have made it a little bit better. But just being a 5/7 or just some sort of
it'd been cool if he had Rush.
Oh, it'd been great if he would have had Rush.
Maybe lower the willpower a little bit.
Yeah, make him a 5/6.
Yeah, or 5/5.
Or even a 4/7.
Mm-hmm.
Like make it make him
the main comparison.
Make him Elishnorn.
For this one is the Cerberus, who's a 5-cost 5/6.
Yeah.
So
I believe so.
And he's
it's 5/6 and also inkable
and 5-cost
and just 1 lore.
So literally all Sven gets is 1 more willpower
and that's it
for one more extra.
That
which
just
feels like
bad.
a half,
Yeah, it felt like a half step, and it was not a good half step.
Because a lot of that's when I first saw this card, I go, a lot of people like Cerberus because like you drop him on 5, he's good at making trades, but I think that 6 needs to be that power card.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like at 5, that's good value at 5. 5/6 at 5 is great, but 5/7 at 6 feels lacking.
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times. Some of the key cards you're trying to take out, the powerhouse cards like the Auroras and the Stitch Rockstars are that 5.
Yeah.
So 5 is a good number to hit, but just getting 1 more willpower for 1 whole ink cost didn't seem as worth it. But you got to have cards that, uncommon. So you got to have cards like that in.
You got to have cards that you're willing to ink.
Too. Yeah. He's great for inking.
Bro, he is Amethyst Jumba Jukiba. That's it.
Amethyst Jumba Jukiba.
That is all he is there for.
So I know we don't have a whole lot to say on him, so we're gonna move on to the next card. What you got, Anthony?
Peter Pan Never Landing. Inkable, 3 cost, 3/2. He has evasive. Only characters with evasive can challenge this character. And the flavor text is, "What's the matter, Hook? Can't you fly?"
I freaking love this card. I think at 3 cost and an evasive, the only thing that I could probably say is I don't particularly like the fact that he's just a 1 lore, but that's just me. But I think at 1 lore being evasive, that's really good.
I think they're very careful with giving evasive characters more than 1 lore.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Because you got Goofy and you
I was
got
about to say, I was
Tigger,
like, you
and
got
Mickey
Goofy.
it's Mickey. Let's be real.
Yeah.
If anyone's gonna have it, it's Mickey.
Mickey is gonna.
Goofy's
yeah.
kind of the best one for the buck when it gets 2.
For sure.
On that. So I think they're very careful, and I think they might make red the better ones, and just the other or Ruby have the better evasive characters, and then maybe the other ones be a little more understated. I just love this card to deal with those pesky Pascals.
I was about to say at 2, it's worth it.
Yeah, because Emerald, they had Genie, which recently got revealed, and it was evasive, but that's all the way at 6.
Yeah, that's a really high cost.
If Pascal gets 6 turns before you play that puppy, Pascal did his job.
Yeah, yeah. 100%.
But this you can drop in Pascal's kind of stuck because it can trade with the Pascal and still be out there.
Yeah,
which is nice. I think if they would have given it a 2/3, it'd been even better. Like more.
Oh
booty.
yeah, just to be like that body.
Because technically the 3 doesn't trade with what we have right now. It doesn't trade with Goofy. It doesn't trade with Tigger.
Yeah.
So it really is Pascal hate in a sense.
Yeah. And, I feel like there will probably eventually, and this is kind of going into kind of a different topic, but I really feel like something that they could add to the game is not just items, but equipment to like where you could put your favorite item from a character in the game. You could put that on a character and it give it that extra, that extra bump,
Well,
that
kind
extra
of like
willpower.
we were talking about with like not even that, but like Maui. This is only used for Maui, and he gains an ability.
Yeah.
His shape-shifting ability.
Oh my god!
Listen,
That's kind of dope.
But and now that they've put him at such a high cost, it's so hard to give him a shift.
Yeah.
Like there's no way of being able to be like, oh, this is his shift form. He can shift into a shark or into a chicken. He can turn into another hey.
Yeah, it would be cool though that they gave him some sort of ability and shift. His ability could be called shift, but do something.
Yeah.
There's so many abilities called something that is related to the character, but like does something kind of not exactly as it says.
If it stayed at an 8, I feel like it could be a dice roll thing. So a shift, and you roll a 6-sided dice, and if you roll a 1, it becomes evasive. If you roll a 2, it gets rush. If you roll a 3, it gets whatever.
That's pretty cool.
I think that would be a really, really cool option for a future Maui.
And some of those keywords that are important. Yeah. That's cool.
I think that would be an awesome addition to.
I like that a lot.
I think that would be really cool.
But Peter Pan overall, I mean, I think I don't know about y'all, but like every time we get a new card when it's a new character, I get excited. Like I'm like, oh, it's Peter. What's he gonna have? Oh, he has evasive. Like it's so fun because like you're seeing all the characters you kind of grew up with, and they're getting cards. And I think that's really what's going to start hooking, especially a lot of people our age, and and then trindle down to the younger ages. But like we have these older characters that we fell in love with, but a lot of them have been remade. I mean, into recent movies and stuff like that, or live action. Yeah. So it's still going to transcend, and it's exciting. I mean, the lore they have with all the worlds and everything is just going to be amazing. And then having the Dreamborns and the Storyborns.
So what you're telling me is that lore matters? Is that what I'm hearing?
It does matter.
So what you're telling me is that Kingdom Hearts will work.
All right, next card. So we're gonna go with the next card.
Okay, so the next card that we are gonna be talking about is Ariel. It's Ariel Whoseit Collector. That is such a strange name, but I get it.
Very weird. I had to type it in a poll today, and I was like, "What is that word?"
It's a Whoseit. It's a Whoseit. What's it? So Ariel Whoseit Collector is a 4-cost uninkable, which is kind of a bummer. but I guess her other copy is inkable, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it kind of balances out. I guess. It's a 4 cost on inkable hero storyborn princess, and it's got the ability. Oh, it's a 3/3, so it's 3 willpower and 3 strength. It's got the ability. Look at this stuff. Whenever you play an item, you may ready this character. That seems really solid.
Give us that flavor text because I love it.
Yeah. Oh gosh. You want thingamabobs? I got 20.
Yeah.
20.
20.
Got 20. That yeah.
I think that this card is much better than people are probably going to give it credit for. I think the fact that it works really well with the already pretty okay. I would say it's okay. The items deck, the Belle and what's Maurice, yeah, the Belle Maurice item deck. Like I think it works.
Skeleton that we have right now.
Yeah,
Like
very much a skeleton deck, but I think it works really well with that deck, and I think it plays really well to that, where you can quest, then ready it, and then challenge. Or wait,
you can quest again.
I was about to say, I was like, it's just readying it. It's not
You
even
can quest
making it
again.
not. Oh my
Right.
goodness, this card is so good. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, just a bunch of low cost items. You just start playing items and just keep going, and it's not a once per turn. Oh my God. Okay, Ravensburger, I love you guys. I really do. I think your game is going to be great, but there's going to be one thing that you're going to learn very quickly: make hard once per turns. It will lend itself to a much easier and better game state one day, I promise. But you will learn it the hard way, I swear. What do you think, Ant?
I mean, I don't think it can get too out of hand because, I mean, you only got a certain amount of lore. I mean, a certain amount of ink each turn. And generally about, around 12 ink games over?
Oh, no, I mean, turn 12, you don't even have 12 ink in your thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah,
have to ink
so-
a card every turn.
Right.
It's from your hand. So, I mean, maybe turn 12, that'd be a
Yeah.
long game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, unless they come out with a way where they're like, okay, reset your ink. Like, I don't think they should cross that line because then this would get kind of out of hand.
Oh,
But
for sure.
I think this is pretty.
Last time I checked, I don't need a Sword of Feast and Famine in Disney Lorcana. Like, that's just a bad idea.
But it could be a thingamabob.
Because she's got 20.
She's got 20 of them.
This is like talking about Tigger and being he's the only one. It's the
Yeah.
same idea.
I can definitely see her questing 3 times in a
For
turn,
sure.
though.
I honestly, at turn 4, like if you're playing this turn 4, because obviously it's not questing turn 4. But if we're talking turn 5 and you've just like, you knew that you were going to be playing
Right.
Ariel and you just held up every single item that is played in blue, and let's say you toss this into like Sapphire or Amber Sapphire. That turn 5 is going to consist of a bunch of coconuts and a bunch of thingamabobs.
Yeah, dingle hoppers.
The dingle hopper. It's gonna be a ridiculous turn. In the most likely scenario, you're questing for at least 5 just with her that turn. Because
Yeah.
you'll quest 1, you'll play the 1, quest 2, play the second one, quest 3, play a 2-drop, and so quest 4. So at that point, you're already at 4. You
Mhm.
have, if there's ever even another 1 ink thing, you're questing just with her a lot.
So we'll give out a shout out to Jacob, who's not here, but I spoke with him earlier, and I believe it's on Twitter as well. But the magical Christmas land of having 4 of these on the field, and then
My God.
and then saving all your 1 and 2 drop items, and then getting 4 of these and comboing out 1 turn. It's magical Christmas land. It's probably never going to happen.
So what
Right.
you're telling me
But it
is
could.
that there's a chance.
There's a chance. But my thing about this card, which I'll talk about a little bit, I had to get the magical Christmas land out there because I know Jacob would want it to be said. So shout out to you. My main thing with this card is I love that there is a little bit of combo because there are players that like that. So it's not busted.
Never.
I would call this card super balanced. And the reason I say that is because uninkable 4, so
Yeah.
you can't use her to ink.
Right.
So you want to keep her in your opening hand, but you got to be picky.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
And the only questing for 1 anymore
would be busted.
anymore busted.
So what you're telling
Inkable,
me?
busted.
So
I
what-
mean,
So what
3/3 whatever.
what
'cause
I'm hearing right now is that the real combo here is Ariel and Ruby
I
and
don't know.
Ruby Sapphire, because Mulan gives her 2. If Mulan banishes a character,
We just need more items in Ruby.
she yes. Oh my gosh, Ruby is such an underdeveloped color right now.
Yeah, it's just got all of its bombs,
It's-
and we're not getting all
It's
the
got
meat and potatoes
all the
in the
haymakers
middle. Yeah.
with no substance.
100%. Another thing is like I kind of like this right now. A lot of the item decks are amethyst because of the magic mirrors and the pocket watches. But this in amethyst, she can also sing a friends on the other side, and then you can play an item, and then she's good to go again. So that's super cool. And I don't know how many times y'all seen it, but friends on the other side sometimes just in a 60 card deck runs into another friends on the other side.
So what you're telling me is
So
that
she can
Magic
sing it
Mirror is
multiple
good?
times. Oh, I mean, maybe to untap her, but that's about it. Or ready her. But yeah.
Sorry.
I just thought, wow, she can sing 2 songs in a turn if you have.
Oh yeah, if you
have
items. Oh my
Would
gosh.
be absolutely insane.
Are there any 4-drop songs that are decent?
I don't think there's any 4. I can think of 3-drop ones, but I don't think there's 4.
Wait, okay, so no, that's a 3.
Yeah,
so
I think it's just 3s right now.
Just in time is an action.
Yes.
It's not a. Okay,
Well, that card, I mean, I think it's great to have a card like that in the game. And the next card, I'm going to agree with as well. I want to see more of these effects in the game. But it is Rapunzel.
I was about to say, are you talking about Rapunzel?
Yes, I want to see her. I want to see more stuff like this because there needs to be a comeback if your opponent just goes crazy at the beginning. But Rapunzel letting down her hair. She is an uninkable 6 cost, 5/4, 5 strength, 4 willpower, who can quest for 2 lore. She has the ability Tangled. When you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore. And I love how they keep that each, because in multiplayer, which they've said is in the game, you know, that it's a playable thing that they want to think of. I just love that it can affect everybody. And I did not read her flavor text, but who are you and how did you find me? So
Who are you?
What do
How'd
y'all
you
think
find me?
about Rapunzel?
I like how she's 6 costs, because I mean there are cards in the game that'll bring stuff back to your hand. If she was any lower, it'd be like you'd be looking for combos to bring her back to your hand and do it again, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that really balances it out a lot, and especially the fact that it's uninkable.
Yeah.
Like
for
if
sure.
this was an inkable card, I wouldn't say it's busted. It wouldn't be busted if it was inkable, but it definitely makes it that kind of higher end cost card where you're looking at it in your opening hand and you're like, I can't keep this. I want to, but I can't, because it's just not.
That uninkable always makes it hard to be like, do I really want to play 4 of these in my deck?
Yeah.
It would be a staple for me if it was inkable.
If it was inkable, it'd be 100% at 4. Like there's no
But
way
when
that
it's
you
not,
could.
you're like, and,
Then
I
it's
mean,
like 2 or
we
3.
have in our Lorcana lessons. I mean, you know, after about 12, you're really maxing out with what we have right now.
Yeah.
Unless there's more card draw, like it at 12 uninkables, you're really on the top. I mean, you really like stay around that 8 to 10 number. So
Which I guess it kind of lends itself to the ramp, like the Ruby Sapphire, the Ruby ramp.
Yeah.
I think it lends itself really well to that, where like even if it is uninkable, like you're still running 1 jump ahead.
Yeah.
So you know, if you happen to hit it off the top, then that's fine, because otherwise it's still gonna cost you a lot.
Mm-hmm. I kind of want to see this same ability, because you're not stealing the lore, they're just losing it.
Yeah.
So it's not like gonna make you win the game. It's just gonna slow them from winning, because you know Aladdin, it takes the lore.
Oh,
and you
it
gain
takes
lore.
it and gain it. Yeah.
So, well, not from
Such a-
every opponent, but you just
such a
gain
good
2.
card.
But I want to see this on a lower cost character, even if it's uninkable, just for the fact of like mid game, because this is kind of mid to late game card. I kind of want to see that like 3-4 drop that has that same, like, just each opponent loses 1 lore. Nothing more than that. And it could be, lower stats, 1 lore, pip, uninkable, but just something that can still take your opponent away, because there's some decks around turn 5, 6 there rocking and rolling.
Yeah, oh yeah,
mainly
for
Stitch
sure.
decks that are just popping off.
Did you do that on purpose? Did you give me my boy to be able to talk about at the very end?
The next card.
You did. You gave
You
me
can
my.
read it if you want.
I'm so excited.
Are we good on Rapunzel?
Yeah, I think we're good on Rapunzel
Okay,
because
so-
we're going to talk about my main man, my boy, a 7-cost inkable version of Stitch. He is Stitch, Carefree Surfer. He is a hero, dreamborn alien because why not? His ability is called Ohana, and it says when you play this character, if you have 2 or more other characters in play, you may draw 2 cards, and it is got 2 lore, and he's a big body. I mean, that I'm gonna say it. That booty is big. 4-8 is massive. And his flavor text says, "Oh, it's David." Okay, I just read the end of it. So you're from outer space, huh? I hear the surfing's choice.
Which is great. Just funny text. I mean, to speak on the art of this card.
Marcel
Oh
Berge,
man,
you're my man right now.
Man.
I'm like,
The art, all the
you
little,
could come on this show
the little
anytime.
things in it that just show Stitch off for how he is in the movies and even the show. I mean, I love it. All the little things.
sure.
Apparently, he sent Lilo into the kitchen to make him a sandwich.
Yeah. Someone made him a sandwich. Maybe Pleakley.
Hey, that's another card I'm looking forward to because it's gotta work with Jumba Jukiba.
What do you think about Stitch, Anthony?
I like it. I like it a lot. Like Tyler said, it's got a big body on it, so it'll probably stick around. It's inkable, so that's good. And then by turn 7, there's gonna be 2 characters on the field, so it just plays really well into the Stitch lineup, the Stitch setup. So
I think the big reason why I like
agree.
this card so much is because at turn 7, like obviously you're gonna have a little bit of a board, but at turn 7, you're running out of cards. Like most decks are running out of cards by turn 7.
100%.
You're hurting. To be able to just drop this and be like, it is conditional. I get it. That's something that Jacob talked about a lot, especially with friends on the other side being like
I brought it up a lot. That there's not a whole lot of
it's an
unconditional.
unconditional two card draw, which I get it, but it's a condition that's very easily met. Like if it wasn't, then I don't feel like this would even be a conversation. But it's a very easily met condition of when you play this character, you got 2 characters, draw 2 cards. That's super simple, and honestly, it's better than a replacement effect. It's better. It's not better than Rockstar. Rockstar will be the MVP of at least for the early game Lorcana.
Would you could argue either way.
Yeah, I think
Different decks.
Yeah, I think the overall for that Stitch, for Stitch Rockstar, it just has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it has a great floor.
Yeah.
Like
There's no ceiling. It's just a floor.
Yeah, it's just a floor, but that floor is really good. You're dancing on that floor, like 100%.
So for me on this card, I absolutely love it. I think it is. I don't know who at Ravensburger loves Stitch so much, but dang, he got some powerful cards.
Hey,
I mean, right now he's my man.
When
Like,
you look
all
at
down
it
for
though, I mean, we brought up friends on the other side. So friends on the other side, it +1s you. So that's 3 cost. We'll take 3 costs of the Stitch and don't give him the ability. He's still a 4/8 that quest for 2.
Yeah.
For 4, if technically. So, I mean, I know friends on the other side's a song, which is its plus. So that it is, I mean, even if you don't meet the conditions and you're one of those go wide strategy decks and somehow, some way, they take all your stuff out. This is still great stats on the board
Oh yeah.
for 7 drop. I mean, you look at the 8 drop. Yeah, he doesn't have the willpower of Maui, or not the willpower, but the strength. He has
Yeah.
the same willpower, but for the plus of like, oh, all I need is 2 other characters, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you can go crazy. And this is one of those things like you were talking about. I mean, I threw this in today. I haven't gotten to play with it yet, into my Amethyst Amber deck with Stitch
Okay.
and everything.
Yeah.
And I put it in the top end of it, and it's going to be exciting because you can pop off with the other Stitch, and then if you draw into this Stitch, well, next turn, you're out of gas because you don't have 1-drops. Well, drop this sucker,
And you'll
and
get
hopefully
the
get some more
gas.
1-drops. So, I mean, this is an awesome card. I think it's definitely worth its rarity. It's
Oh, yeah.
top
It's a
rarity.
legendary. It had to be a legendary.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's super good. And I mean, I'm sure we can go on and on about it, but that effect being in the game, there needs to be more of that.
It really does.
Amber has definitely proven itself to be the character centric. A lot of it's returning characters back or play a character or this character, something else, like this one, is if you have other characters, this one.
It's very what I like to call community based. Yeah. Like it's all about a lot of support for the characters. Like the characters they support each other.
And this works perfectly with Go Wild strategies. I mean,
for sure.
It supports it 100%.
It's supporting big board. Whereas like I feel like the eventual really good combination is going to end up being Amber or Ruby Amber, like low key, because it supports big board, and then big board with big swingy character equals bad things happen to good people.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. It's going to be fun mixing and matching the inks, and there's going to be a meta, and then there's going to be counter metas, but then there's going to be those rogue things. Kind of like
looking forward to the rogue decks.
Your Ruby Amber probably being rogue. Just with what we have now, but we don't have the lower stuff in or Ruby yet.
Yeah,
so
we got nothing. All we've got is Sergeant Tibbs, Ravensburger. Give us a 2-drop that's worth it.
So I want to know, and I'm sure all the viewers want to know, what's your favorites? We'll start off with Anthony. What are your favorite? Or you want me to give it to Tyler first?
Yeah, give it to Tyler first.
I'm pretty sure we know what his is,
man. Okay. So
what is your favorite? You're most excited to play? Just favorite overall.
Out of those?
Out of the 8 we just talked about.
Out of the 8 that we just talked about, I'm 100% it's Stitch.
Okay.
Stitch will always be my favorite character probably ever in Disney as a whole, like probably closely followed by Genie. But man, just every Stitch card that they have come out with has been a banger.
Even the one drop, it's even nice the one because it can be shifted on.
One drop 2/2. It's really, really hard to mess that up, and they did a great job.
Yeah,
so
they knocked it out of the park. It's definitely, I'm sure it'll be a lot of people's favorite choice. So good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think my favorite choice is the Ariel.
Ooh,
see, that was a close second for
item
me.
synergy. Oh my gosh, it's like I haven't really even thought of what deck, but once I read this card, I was like, okay, I think I want to do an item deck first.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think Ariel's going to be one of those. Like I said, it appeals to a different person. You know what I mean? Because like it combos off a little bit, has a little bit of synergy going on, and it's not like playing just this big creature. So I think it really does lend itself. And the item deck kind of does already because Maurice is every time you play an item, you draw a card.
Right.
So I think that whole vibe is going to really appeal with the person who likes the value engines. You like a little engine going. And all that.
So Jacob is gonna love this deck.
Jacob likes his big beefy creatures.
He does like big beefy creatures, but some of his best decks that he's ever made have been straight up value engines. Like it's just been the cards that work best together that just kick out a bunch of different stuff. And I feel like that's the deck that it might not be the big splashy play, but that play is gonna win you a game.
So I'll give my card. Both of y'all's are good choices, and this card they're right there with my card. I mean, I love the choices y'all pick. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick with Rapunzel. Like I said, there needs to be more effects like that in the game. Hopefully it will be across other colors. Maybe Ruby will have the best ones of it. The most like you play it does it. Maybe the other ones have to meet a cost and they get the same thing. Kind of like Evasive with Pascal. It has a cost of another character.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if they do lower cost ones, I think that they need a condition.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Pascal is kind of like my key on that one. Like maybe it's the same thing as this, few less stats and everything, and it's like condition is you need 2 other characters are on board.
Yeah, and I feel
or-
like that condition for Stitch really worked
or
for
your
it.
opponent needs a character on board,
Ooh.
something like that.
Or
you
if they
know?
have a certain amount of lore, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, anything's open these days.
And I was about to say that kind of lends itself to the same mentality that Pokemon has kind of taken in the last like year or so, last 2 years, where like they have effects that specifically designate when your opponent has less prize cards or more
Gotcha.
prize cards than you do, then you can do certain abilities.
Right.
I feel like that lends itself really well to here, where say like the ability is if your opponent has 10 more lore counters than you do, then like you get this ability. Which, by the way, I thought of another one for Maui on the shift, giving him ward that lasts until the next turn.
Yeah. I think giving him all those cool keywords.
I think that would be fun.
A die full of them. I mean, it could be a freaking D20. We could go crazy.
That's way too many choices.
It could be crazy. So that's going to end the main portion of the podcast, but we do have a mailbag.
Hey,
so
this week no hot takes. We decided to put the ice takes on the ice takes.
Jacob's not here to give an ice
not
take.
here to
Jacob's not here to give an ice take. So
we're gonna chill on hot takes with Hades this week. But we do have mailbag stuff. Alex, what we got for mailbag?
So we have one question that we had before. We tweeted, and we didn't give a whole lot of time this time, but we really wanted to hit one because we got one. So this is from Lorcana Cast.
Hey,
which y'all were on.
We were, and that I believe has that come out yet?
It is out.
Oh,
yes, it is out. So
Sugi, my man.
If y'all haven't gone to see it, go see it. And thank you so much for your question. So the question is, what made you realize, each person individually, sorry, Jacob's not here, the aha moment that made you want to play Lorcana?
Okay. Well, Alex, I'm probably going to go ahead and let you start that one because...
So my aha moment, and I touched on this a little in one of the first few podcasts, but we were all interested. We've talked about it before, but our friend Dylan kind of showed us the game. He's a huge Disney fan.
Massive Disney fan.
Huge Disney fan. And he kind of shows the game. We were all interested because we like card games.
Oh, yeah.
But the big thing that made me go from, okay, I'll look into that, to I'm definitely playing it, was the multiplayer being talked about. Once they came out with multiplayer and saying it's going to be a part of our game on release. Like, yeah, there's not tournaments or anything, but it just being thought of when they're balancing cards is so nice. Kind of like the Rapunzel and Aladdin. Them thinking about, don't just say your opponent loses, each opponent loses. So you can see they are thinking about multiplayer when they make these cards. But us coming from Commander recently, that's what a lot of us played, and kind of taking a backseat on it for right now, but we still love it. But that multiplayer format, I love the social aspect. I love just getting with the guys and whoever else and just playing, sitting down playing and chatting too. You can have a discussion.
Something about politicking is just...
And politicking is fun too. I mean...
It can be.
It is fun. There's times where it's super frustrating.
It's also super frustrating from the standpoint of watching somebody who you absolutely know that they're about to win, but they're trying so hard to kind of shift the gaze of the table to somebody else. Like, no, you will not do this. I see you. I see your board. You are a problem.
And it's always fun too once people start learning decks too, like going like, well, they're playing that deck. Well, get ready to be grouped up on because we're all going to mess with you. But that definitely
so what
was
you're
my
telling me
aha
is that I
moment.
shouldn't play Urza.
That definitely was my aha moment. Just that being a format that's pretty much thought about at the beginning of the game, not some afterthought. They are thinking about it, and that excited me. And I was like, all right, I'm going in. We're playing this game. So what about you, Anthony?
So mine also comes back from episode 1 when we kind of all touched on it. My aha moment was when, like, I heard you guys talking about it. Like, Jacob texted me or called me one day. He was like, hey, have you heard about this game? Because I wasn't with y'all when Dylan introduced it. And I was just like, no, I haven't heard. Because at that time, I wasn't even really playing Magic with you guys. So,
yeah, you had been playing Magic in a while.
Right. So, but after hearing y'all talk about it more and Disney characters and just seeing how excited you guys were about it is really was my aha moment. Like I'm still not into it as much as y'all are, but because y'all are so into it, I want to give it a shot, just to be around and So
For
I'm
sure.
excited
Because
too.
we
for
like
sure.
having you around, buddy.
For sure.
But yeah, like it's definitely a dope game, and like you touched on earlier, we grew up with these characters, so that attachment, that nostalgia, like
For sure.
really makes it.
Yeah, when a character you really like gets a dope card, aka Stitch for Tyler.
Hey,
Right.
When you get something like that for a character you love, you're like building a deck around it.
Yep.
I don't care.
Exactly,
I don't care
exactly.
what I have to do. I'm building a deck around
Yep.
it.
How much? Gosh dang it, Ravensburger, just take my money. Just take my. You already have. I've already pre-ordered a bunch of stuff. What am I saying? You got my money right now.
That's a good aha moment though, Anthony. What about you, Tyler?
Oh man, my haha moment really kind of like Anthony. I actually wasn't there when you guys started really talking about
You're
Lorcana.
still heavy Magic.
I was
Yeah.
heavy Magic, and I wouldn't say I'm as heavy. Like I still buy product just because I like. First off, Lord of the Rings just recently came out. I freaking love Lord of the Rings. But that's kind of the mentality is things that I loved growing up. Like I will always have a soft spot in my heart for nostalgia.
Yeah, and we
Like,
all have the
And,
nostalgia.
and
bug.
everybody's got the nostalgia bug, but I loved growing up with characters like Aladdin and Genie and Lion King with Simba. And I mean, obviously not a big Scar fan, but that's not the point. The point is that like those characters built my childhood, and having the ability to play a card game. And I touched on this in episode 1, having the ability to play a card game where all of those characters not only are there, but are in multiple different forms and have various abilities that make them individually very cool. Like Stitch Rockstar is freaking awesome. And I love the flavor because that's exactly the type of personality Stitch has. Like that makes me happy. And also, let's face it, when we finally get to the point to where we can start doing more like voices for characters, I am all over that. Like my life will be complete. This channel will be so awesome. Because if you want to hear one guy be able to do almost every single Disney voice that can be done, you've come to the right place.
Awesome. Well, those are all good moments and everything. That's all we really have about to talk about today. We really appreciate everyone listening. We'll let Tyler go ahead and close us out.
Yeah, so thanks again, guys, for listening to Ready, Set, Live. If you could like and share the content and subscribe to the channel, as we said earlier in the podcast, as well as hitting that notification bell for updates on when we post new content. Don't forget to leave a comment as we check for any questions that you guys might have, as well as things to add to our mailbag portion of the podcast, which obviously we just did. And who knows, maybe your question will be answered in the next episode. And thanks again to Texarkana Podcast Studio for their contribution to making this episode possible. As always, this is Tyler from Ready, Set, Draw, signing out.